Reality. Live from a room in Lewiston, Idaho. It's the show about sports and stuff. The sports program on TSPN. And I'm your host. What if we had an intro like that?
I thought you were really doing that.
No. No. I should. Maybe I should be like, live from a room in Lewiston, Idaho. It's a sports program with Derek and Zach. And also guest starring my panicked hangover that I had earlier this morning.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Zach?
Man, I also had a hangover this morning, but guess what?
What's up?
This is an orange juice, just not even.
Well, I call those. Do you actually have champagne? Are you going mimosa, or are you going what I like to call white trash mimosa, which is beer and orange juice?
No, but there's like a regular name for that. It's called a brass monkey.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that's what that was called. You taught me a thing.
A brass monkey is a 40 in orange juice, but it's the same for beer. I mean, it's a 40 in beer, one and the same.
One of my friends drinks. He loves Blue Moon and orange juice. That's like his thing. Drinks it all the time. Drinks it all the time.
I think.
I can't drink it too often.
I think.
It is a good combo. Yeah, I don't know if I could do it all the time though. That's a lot of citrus. gives the guy a little bit of heartburn. How's your bracket?
Yeah, I won't need it. Which one? I was dominating two of them pretty good. I was at like the 97.8 until the games last night, but I think my brackets really fell apart since then.
Yeah, I think so I'm going to the sports program one now, which, by the way, we didn't get to do a Wednesday show, which was very heartbreaking. I'm still working with James to see what the deal was. So essentially, when we were trying to do the show, when we had you queued up, you would come through fine. But as soon as we would go to on air, we couldn't hear you, and then none of us were going through like the air. So it was super confusing, which is a shame because that is the show I absolutely wanted to do the most.
So biggest upset so far, if we would have done a show.
Yes.
These are ones I would not have said. If we would have done a show, I would have told everyone that I picked Murray State and Oregon on all brackets. And I don't know how people are labeling either of those as upsets. Yes, they were both 12 seeds, but yes, they were obviously the better team in both games. I believe that Murray State was even probably the betting favorite going into the Marquette game. So neither of those surprised me.
I did take Marquette. I did take them.
Man, so I actually worked with someone who went to the Big East tournament like a week ago because we have our New York office, and they were like, wow, I watched Marquette, and they were flat. He's like, I didn't pick them in any bracket because they looked so flat in the game that I actually got it, because they went to the Marquette Seton Hall game, I believe. And they were like, I have no faith in that team. He's like, I don't even know anything about Murray State. Like, he didn't know that they had probably the second best player in the country, probably the second draft pick in the NBA draft.
So that was one of those ones that I wasn't really familiar with the team at all, and I just know the name Marquette, and I was like, yep, sure.
So yeah, Murray State has someone who might get drafted over RJ Barrett for the number 2 player in the draft. Jay Morant. He's that good. He's a freaking highlight reel. I assumed by this point in the season everyone knew who he was, so I assumed that most people would pick them. Stars come to play in the tournament. I mean, if you think about what year am I trying to think of? It was when Steph Curry was a junior, I believe.
Yeah.
He took the tournament by storm. Yeah, they didn't go all the way. Like, they only won a couple games. But, like, when you're at that small of a school and you're able to come into the tournament and win a couple games just because you're that good, that's basically what Murray State did. I mean, they have one player who's clearly an NBA future star, and they were able to come in the game and just absolutely take over. And I think they could win a couple games. I don't have them winning a couple games. I just have them winning one. But I think they have the potential to go deep. Now, I do have Oregon as a 12 seed actually winning a few games in almost all brackets because they are that good. They're the most underrated team for sure. They had to figure out how to play without their best player this season. Their best player, Bol, I mean, maybe he only played a third of the year, and he'll end up being a top 5 draft pick. But they had to learn how to play without him. Now that they have, they're probably one of the most athletic, moving defenses that are left in the tournament, and they can shoot threes. So they are scary. I thought that was another easy pick that I think a lot of people missed. Games I did not see coming: Washington beating Utah, even though 9s basically are guaranteed to beat 8s. So I always pick the 9. I know that now.
Yeah.
Ohio State beating Iowa State. That was one I did not see at all. This was a down year for Ohio State. And then Iowa beating Cincinnati. Clearly, I need to give more credit to the Big Ten, and I felt like I already gave a lot of credit to the Big Ten. I picked Minnesota in every bracket, so.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I picked Minnesota as well.
Well, great first round story, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've had a lot of fun watching some of the games. I got to listen to more games than I actually got to watch. Oh, LSU came out. Ooh, by 2 points. Man, wow. That was neck and neck. That was a good game.
Good, because there's no world where I thought I have LSU going to the Final Four in 2 brackets, so that would have been an upset. Obviously, I think the biggest upset so far is either Liberty beating Mississippi State, or what was the other one that just absolutely destroyed me? Oh, UC Irvine beating Kansas State.
Yeah, that was a big one.
I mean, I've learned by this point that the Big 12 and the SEC, just because they have a few good teams, does not mean that you can put any sort of faith in them. But the Big 12 this year as a whole is just bad. I mean, Oklahoma looked fantastic yesterday, but I haven't been blown away by another Big 12 team yet. Yeah,
so up until UC Irvine, I was like, man, I just can't believe there hasn't been any big upsets yet.
No, this has been a very chalky year, except for the 12 seeds winning. But the UC Irvine was the big one so far, I guess, and I think people, including myself, just put a little bit too much faith in Kansas State. And I think this year is, I'm calling it like the clout year. So a lot of teams that got where they're at just based off of clout. Like Gonzaga didn't even win. Gonzaga's not a major conference. They lost their mid-major conference tournament, and they still got a 1 seed. And you know that's on clout. You know that's on previous years.
Yeah.
So I think this is the official year of clout. Like the teams that got seeded, where they got seeded, were strictly based off of previous years alone and reputation. And there's a lot of schools who should not have even been in here, like Washington. I mean, it's hard to say that now that Washington won a game, but they're a team to me where they screwed over someone who deserved to be here to get there. But if they keep winning, then that proves me wrong, and good for them.
I had an emergency sneeze where I literally couldn't get to a paper towel, and now that's on the stream forever.
Is there any picks you made that you're just genuinely proud of, that like you feel like a lot of people didn't pick,
but you did? So I unfortunately didn't pick any, like, I didn't choose. I wasn't like a Nostraderic enough to pick any of the upsets, like at all, which I was kind of bummed. I was hoping I picked a couple that I thought could be upsets, but I was, it didn't work out for me. But let's see, I'm looking through here. I'm of course I'm looking at the main bracket that I have for sports program, because my other two are fine, and they're mostly just like in like the big ones, like try to win a car or whatever.
Right.
I was pretty thrilled. I don't know. I wouldn't call it an upset because it was an 11-6, but I was pretty delighted that Ohio State beat Iowa, because I honestly, I picked it kind of thinking Iowa would win it. And it was a close game. I don't know if you got to see any of that, but that was a pretty good game. I gotta actually see some of that.
Well, Derek, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have only been watching college basketball the last 2 days. So
Good.
The question is, what didn't I see? Realistically, the other day, here's a story about yesterday. I'm at work. everyone is leaving early, even during my like teams like stand up. That is what we call us all getting together and talking about what we got going on that day.
Yeah.
During my team stand up, my boss even says, "Well, I hope some of you guys get out of here early and go enjoy some like tree fort or some college basketball. But yeah, don't waste your day here. Basically, like
That's
get out
awesome.
early." And I was watching basketball at my desk the entire day. I do want to note that I got a shit ton done.
Yeah.
So I don't want this to be me throwing myself under the bus by any means.
No,
But
so I had mine running in the background on,
but I mean,
like, I had
I
it
got
running.
3 monitors for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't have it up, but I had it on so I can listen to it.
No, I had it up. Like I had it. I opened
can't
my
do
laptop,
that.
so I had 3 monitors.
I'll
Going,
get in trouble for that.
Yeah,
Sadly.
we don't.
That's nice. That's what I need to find, man. I gotta find that big boy job where I can watch stuff while I'm working.
Yeah, we don't. I'm going to meetings and literally I just unplugged my laptop from my desktop and walked around watching games while walking to other meetings. And then
That's
getting into
awesome.
the meetings and then people talking to me about business stuff and then me talking back to them about what I'm watching on the game. But anyways, I'm watching the Oregon game.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, oh wow, the game started at 2:30 my time, and I wanted to be out of there by like 3:30.
Yeah.
I couldn't leave. Like I was so like into the boys, like making sure that they needed to win. Like I didn't leave work. Like everyone's leaving early. Every single person in my department is like clearing out, and it's now 4:30, and I'm like one of the only people left. And people are like, why are you still here? And I'm like, I'm worried that it's going to take me so long to get out of downtown that I'm not going to get to finish this game. So I just stayed at work.
Awesome. So Oregon was actually one of those games. So I chose them to win at that as well. I have them losing to Kansas State in this next one, so my bracket's busted in that part.
Yeah, because Kansas State's not even going to be there.
Right.
And not only that, but I had them winning that game anyways.
Well,
so
God,
I'm
that's
not
good.
too worried.
I had them beating Wisconsin though, but I've actually got to watch Wisconsin a couple of times this year, and I actually thought that would be a lot closer game. I just didn't think it was going to be as far off as it was. Like, and of course I listened to some of the hype machine too behind Oregon against Wisconsin. Did you know that I actually heard a lot of hype between Oregon and Wisconsin, like going into this March Madness? Did you hear any of that? Like,
well, they're both good teams. Like that.
yeah,
that's what sucks about this game being,
cool.
or this game being in the first round, is that these are two teams that both have potential to go at least 3 rounds deep.
Yeah, it was cool. Like, it was cool to hear some love being given to the game.
I mean, it was one of the better matchups of the first round. I think some of the best matchups were obviously the Auburn game was an incredible matchup. Marquette, Murray State was an incredible matchup as far as like two great point guards going against each other. Ethan Happ for Wisconsin, I always say it, but it feels like he's been there for 105 years. I think he's finally gone after this year, but he had a stellar start to the game. It's just the Wisconsin went cold.
Yeah.
The Minnesota story was fantastic. Getting to see like Patino's kid beat Patino's team after they fired him, like one of the legends of college basketball losing his job, and then his son going in and like basically avenging him, which was super cool. And he even admitted afterwards, like, this was never about me, but it really made my dad happy. So
really
I thought
cool.
that was really, I mean, that was one of the highlights of the game so far for me.
That is really fun.
And I bought into that too. I knew they were fired up, and I was like, yeah, you're dumb if you didn't pick Minnesota. So I picked them in every bracket. But
that's awesome.
I mean, yeah, that's bulletin board material, which I know some people don't believe in, but I sure do.
Do you mind elaborating on that a little bit as a novice of some of the Zach lingo that you know?
Oh,
bulletin
yeah.
board.
So bulletin board, it's a football term, and you know when someone says something stupid to the media in football, like a corner is like, oh yeah, so and so's a punk, and he's one of the worst wide receivers in the league, and we're gonna dominate these guys next week. That's bulletin board material, because they say that what the other team does is they take that quote and they put it on a bulletin board for your team to read as motivation throughout the week, right? So
that's cool.
Now the bulletin board at this point is strictly metaphorical, I believe. I don't believe that there is I mean, I bet some teams still do it. Some coaches have admitted that they would never do it because they don't believe in it. Winning the game should be enough motivation. But there's other players that say like, "Damn right, that's bulletin board material." Like, yeah, it got me fired up. So like,
That's
there's people
cool.
that blatantly admit that that little bit was a push for the week, to get them to the game on Sunday and do what they need to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, by bulletin board material, that's exactly what I mean. Like, if someone says you can't do something, or that you're going to lose a game, or you're not good enough to be somewhere, like, why would a team not try to use that as motivation? Like, let another player or the media or somebody else fuel that fire if it's that little bit of extra push it needs for you to, like, work out harder, train harder, practice harder.
Actually, and that's why so without kind of knowing the term, that's why I've always said I like it more when Gonzaga is a lower seed. I like, for them. I mean, for the fans. Just for them in general. Like, I'm not a Gonzaga fan, but I know so many Gonzaga fans around here, and I know you do too, because just the area that we're in, and
Right.
There's so many, like, when they go into the season like this, and it's number one, like they're number one
all the
or
way
whatever,
through, yeah.
or number two, like I think weren't they number two last year? And then go,
If not last year, 2 years ago.
or
2
was it
years
the
ago
year
is when they
before?
played in the national championship.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Who was it last year? It was
Villanova was last year. The year before that was North Carolina Gonzaga.
That's right. North Carolina Gonzaga. That's right. And they had Zach Collins. That's how I knew who he was. The bird. The human bird. With Hitler Youth hair. Anyways, they were number 2 going into that season, I think, or going into the March Madness. I'm pretty sure number 2 or number 1. I mean, they were a 1 or 2 seed, and they like, people around here were just so high on it. Like, if you hate Gonzaga as much as I'm not a fan of that team, when they go into a bracket around here and they're number 1 or number 2, you have to. I mean, maybe it's a little better down where you are now in Boise. But boy,
people here are Boise State fans.
It is goddamn excruciating here right now. It is so obnoxious here right now. And I'm sure what it's like here right now.
Oh yeah, I still have to like read it on Facebook and stuff like that. It's like people are like, "We are GU," and I'm like, "Are you though? Because you didn't go to college, so are you really
I
GU?"
always feel that. I always feel that same thing. Like, I like a team. Please like a team. Don't say we. You didn't go there. Come on. Don't. I mean, say we. I mean, I guess. I don't know. Be a fan any way you want to.
You're completely right. I'm like, it's not we.
Yeah.
You didn't go there. If it's a pro sports team, I don't give a shit. Say we.
Yeah. Maybe. Okay.
Like,
maybe
when
that's
I
what
talk about
it
the
is.
Spurs, I say we, because I don't have to. I don't have to like go to Spurs University to be a part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess that's true. You didn't pay money to go to earn a degree from Spurs U.
Yeah, like I went to.
And if you could, you would.
Yeah, at the beginning of March, I went to 2 Spurs games, and I spent hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars if you count the whole trip. So I can say we because I spent the money.
That's right. Damn it.
That's
right.
If you went to Gonzaga and you literally wasted that tuition, which is insane. If you went there, damn right you can say we.
Yep. Say we.
That is an expensive ticket to ride that ride. So yeah, you could say we. But if you didn't go there, or even a college a tenth of the price, you probably shouldn't say we.
Yeah, I mean.
But speaking of we, how about them Warriors, baby?
Yeah. Very cool. Man.
First quarterfinals in the school's history. For those who don't know.
Yeah.
Because we're on podcast now, but this show started as a college radio show at a college of only about 4,000 people.
Yep.
We are an NAIA school, and we are in the NAIA tournament, baby, down to the quarterfinals.
That's cool, though. I mean, it is cool. I did not tweet this because I didn't want to be too mean. I like the guys on the team, and I would never make fun of anything. Like, I don't want them to read anything and see me teasing a little bit. But I did text you about my joke when Kentucky beat that Christian school. I was like, man, it was like watching the Warriors play them. It was so hard I think it was like 74-48. It was so hard to watch. And I watched,
really?
Oh man, I watched the game. It was just like watching. I mean, I let's just say I was watching it because the score was so different. Because it was just it was such a it was so weird to watch it. It was like watching a high school team play an NBA team. Is how it felt. It was just very just grossly outmatched. Which, that Christian team, I'm sure they played in a tournament to get in. Like that's still a huge accomplishment for some of those smaller schools. That's a big deal. It's still cool.
Oh dang, I forgot to share this by the way, just for the record.
That's okay.
I mean, it's on YouTube. People can watch it afterwards. They don't need to watch it live.
Well, we'll share it as well.
Yeah.
We'll post it.
I just got asked. I was like, Jeff's like, "Are you guys not sharing the show?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's on YouTube." He's
That's
like
funny.
down in my living room, probably waiting for us to start.
Oh, that's so funny. Oops. Sorry, Jeff. So yeah, I mean, so far the tournament's been a lot of fun. You're right though. Chalk, pretty. Not a lot of upsets yet. Still kind of waiting for. Dare I say it? I'm still kind of waiting for the aftermath of when Duke loses.
Virginia Tech Sweet 16. We didn't get to do a show on Wednesday, so that leads like, this is what my content would have been.
Yes.
If we would have talked about our brackets, I would have said that I had Virginia Tech beating Duke in the Sweet 16. Virginia Tech is finally healthy with Robinson back. Obviously, that's going to sound a little biased for me. If anyone knows anything about me, they know that I root for Virginia Tech in all sports. I do not say we, though.
We did it.
I just watch them, and I hope they do well. But this is the best basketball team they've ever had. They got their first tournament win in over 12 years yesterday, and they looked very impressive doing so. And if there's a team that's going to beat Duke, it is going to be a 3-and-D type of team. Now, Virginia Tech as a whole shoots 39% from three. Duke is probably the worst team from three left, besides for maybe like Minnesota, who only makes 5 a game.
Yeah.
But I think Duke's right there at about the same clip. So, yeah, I think you got to pick a team like Virginia Tech to beat them, and that is exactly what I did.
I went with Michigan State. I went with Michigan State to win it all.
Well, I think that's garbage, but
no, it's not a good choice. No.
I like the Big Ten as far as their depth. Like, we just saw a couple 10 seeds from the Big Ten win, like with Minnesota.
Yeah.
Purdue looked great. Iowa won. Ohio State won.
They did.
Michigan. Yeah, so the Big Ten took care of business the last 2 days.
Yep.
And they're a deep conference, but they're not an elite conference. They're like 8 really, really good teams. But then, like, the ACC, in my opinion, is like six elite teams. Oh, we got Jeff in the room, baby.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah, so with the ACC, though, we have 4 to 6 teams. If you go Florida State, Duke, North Carolina, Virginia Tech,
Yes.
Those are 4 teams that are just better than every team in the Big Ten. So the Big Ten is a deeper conference, yes, but like the top heavy of the ACC, I think is. I said it before the game started yesterday for Virginia Tech, but them getting to play St. Louis in the first round was almost like laughable to me, because they are in tougher games every day in the ACC. You know what I mean? Like, they have to play Virginia, Duke, North Carolina, NC State, all these like tournament teams on like a daily basis. So then getting to go play St. Louis and then Kansas State, or you know what I mean, or whatever, whoever they're playing next.
Right.
I'm sure this is they're in the tournament, but it's a downgrading competition.
Well, I'm not feeling real confident in my pick here, but that's all right. I honestly, do you know what it came down to is I just didn't want to pick. I was just really trying to avoid picking Duke or Gonzaga, and and Kentucky.
So I have Kentucky playing Gonzaga in the sports program bracket.
Yes.
That's my only bracket that's that way at all. But I don't know. That one felt right to me. When I was picking that bracket, I felt pretty good. I did not know that P.J. Washington was out this next game for Kentucky. I was not aware of, like, you know what I mean? Like, their best player not going to be able to play in the second round.
Not
But
fair. I wasn't made aware of that.
yeah, that's not fair. You're not being fair. You're being fair. Why aren't you being fair? Yeah, so I'm sure by like weekend 2, though, like if they can make it to next weekend, which they're Kentucky, they'll figure it out.
Yep.
They're going to be fine. And I'm sure a lot of people intentionally didn't pick Gonzaga because of what you were saying earlier. Like, we come from an area where it's just a bunch of people who,
yeah,
we are GU.
Yeah, we have
Like,
a
no,
lot
you're
of
not.
Duke. We have a lot of Duke in our bracket.
Yeah, you're not GU because you work at Walmart. You're not GU because you didn't even take one class there. But you like GU, and that's fine.
That is
you can
fine.
like whoever you want. I like schools I didn't go to.
Yeah, like what you want to
but
like.
I am not VTech. You know.
Yeah.
You might be VTech.
I'm a little VTech. I'm a little VTech.
I'm pretty sure I owned a VTech laptop when I was a kid. Do you remember those? Do you remember those? Those stupid like VTech like little kid computers? Did you ever have one of those? Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I owned one of those. Does that mean I'm VTech?
Yeah, you're VTech.
I'm VTech because I had a VTech toys kids toy laptop.
I was like, so I was like cheering pretty hard for Oregon during the game yesterday at work, and someone's like, "Oh, are you rooting for Oregon?" And I'm sure I work with a lot of people, you know. I'm not sure. I'm positive I work with a lot of people who went to Division I schools, so they just like, "Oh, he's rooting for Oregon. He probably went there." It's like, no, I went to Lewis Park State College.
I went to a state college.
Yeah, and I make the same amount of money as you, so suck my balls.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's
How's
pretty
that?
good.
Yeah. How's paying off UW? That's usually the first thing that I actually say.
I know.
But
even people who went to those schools can be pretty excruciatingly annoying though too. I mean, with their teams, they could be a little. I don't know.
Yeah, when someone walks in with like a Gonzaga like pullover fleece, I'm like, oh my god, my school doesn't even make pullover fleeces. We can't afford it. Yeah,
fuck, that's funny.
We have what is that brand? Like Gildan.
Yeah.
From Walmart.
Yeah.
We have Gildan t-shirts and hoodies that shrink 2 sizes if you put them in the dryer.
Yeah, my Gildan hoodie. Every Gildan hoodie I have from LC are now Breeze sweatshirts from work because I washed it.
You have to give them all to girls that you know, like within 2 weeks.
Because I washed it too many times and it became a belly shirt.
Yeah, hey, I know we just met, but do you want my LC Warriors hoodie? Because I can't ever wear it again. Because I washed it once.
Fuck, that's so
funny.
I have that one hoodie. Except for unless you buy it from the athletics department, they'll put a little dough behind theirs. That's it.
Yeah, you get some Nike from time to time over there.
Yep.
Nike.
They'll put a little dough in it. That's it.
If you get like the athletic department Nike baseball dry fit Nike pullover, then you're fine. But we make like 2 of those.
Yeah, you make 2, and you better make sure you get in there first to get the size you want.
The rest is champion at best.
I literally am looking ahead of me, and I'm looking at a champion sweatshirt hanging in my closet. That is 1 size too small because I washed it, and my belly hangs out of the bottom of it, and I can't ever wear it. It's Bree's work shirt. Congratulations. I can't wear it.
Yeah, and then the girl washes it, and then they can't wear it. And then you like have to have a kid, so your kid can wear it. Like that's the only like logical.
It's a hand-me-down, but unfortunately, it wasn't over generations. It was over a 6-month time period.
Yeah, now it's a baby shirt. By the time 9 months went by, it fit the kid.
Even our, I have that flex fit, or not that flex fit, but I have that pro back hat, and it's not even a 5950. Like it's not even I don't know what brand it is. You could buy them now. They just started Pro Image up here, the place. Pro Image just now started selling 5950 LC Warriors hats. Like I think they signed a deal with Pro Image, which is kind of cool. I haven't bought one yet. Maybe when I get my next one, I'll get one. But those 2 Warriors hats that I have, those are not 5950 hats. Those are, I don't know what brand it is. It's not the brand of a hat that anyone's made or worn, except for me and the team.
Yeah, I think my LC hat was made by some like fishing company, that only makes like exclusive hats for someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's going to a sporting goods store. So back to the games though. Today I think we have potential first 3 games for a couple of upsets. Wofford plays Kentucky once again. I just mentioned Kentucky's best player is out. Wofford is a absolutely fire team on offense. I don't know if they can play defense against Kentucky. We're going to find out. But I think upset alert exists there. Florida, Michigan. I think Michigan is a terrible offensive team, and I think Florida can hang with them defensively. If Florida, a 10 seed, beats number 2 Michigan, I think that is the biggest upset of the tournament.
I didn't even take Florida to go this. I took Nevada to beat Florida. So
I had Florida in 2 of the 3 that I did. I think Florida is good. I think the SEC in general is good. So Florida, Auburn, LSU, obviously Kentucky and Tennessee, but this is the best SEC group I think we've ever seen. Murray State, once again, like I said earlier, Jay Morant, second best player in college basketball, probably 2nd or 3rd pick of the NBA draft, plays for Murray State. I don't even think there's 3,000 people who go to Murray State. I think our college is bigger than Murray State is.
That's crazy.
So, but them beating Florida today would be insane. Florida's a very good team, though. They're the deepest team in the tournament. I think they play like 10 guys pretty regularly. So that'll be hard. But I think that for sure is upset alert. I'm not going to say upset alert on Baylor Gonzaga. I would love to, but I'm not going to say it.
I'm erect thinking about it.
Yeah, you're hard.
Fully
you're
torqued.
for sure hard.
Fully torqued.
You're hard thinking about it, but and if it happens, I'll be hard too, brother.
I'll be hard too, brother.
I'll be brother. Yeah, brother. Oh, dude, you'll appreciate this story. Actually, this is non-sports related.
Oh, I love it.
But we were having a call with one of our clients, and I don't like to do calls where we add video. I like to just do audio only for a lot of our calls at work.
Yeah.
But we're having a client call, and there's a guy who's like seriously like a derivative wizard, and he's one of like the head of our like data implementation teams, and he's like, these guys do video calls, and we're like, yeah. If you're going to do a call with this company, they do video calls. And he's like, I'm wearing my Hitman Heart t-shirt. It's just a giant picture of him on his shirt. And of course, he's like one of those guys who wears like Patagonia jackets and stuff. So he's like, I'll just zip this up. But I'm like, yeah, I don't think you should, brother.
That's awesome.
I was like, I think next call that I do, I want to bust out with a Stone Cold 316 t-shirt and just really go to and just really let the snakes out.
If you want to keep doing business with us, give me a hell yeah.
If you want to do another visit with us, and like just off camera, someone tosses me a beer.
Yeah, clash them together. Clash them together and dump from your face. Gonna have a Steve Weiser. Oh man.
Yeah.
I would double.
I stuttered Donald Trump. Let's go.
I would.
That's one of the best videos ever.
Yeah, man. I would double my business with you.
Cause let's double down.
Let's double down, baby.
I don't think that's how like we're not like Dunder Mifflin Paper Company. I don't think you can like double your supply of data with us, but you can just choose to put more data on our system that we can charge you for, I guess.
Perfect.
Yeah. We're just going to put useless information on your system.
I love your company so much because of your stone cold references. Because I love you and I love your stone cold references. And that's a policy I can get behind.
Yeah. What is you got your a stone cold t-shirt and you do stone cold business.
Oh, I like that. Oh, what's your mission statement? It's Austin 316 says I just whooped your ass. So
Austin 316 says just whooped your ass.
that's our mission.
I don't know how like a college hasn't gotten behind that for NCAA. Like,
oh man, totally.
I would have him like show up at the game and say that to teams after I beat them.
I mean, yeah, you've seen videos where Ric Flair goes into like the locker room and gives him a speech before a game or whatever.
Well, I'm sure Ric Flair is just we need some cash flow. I'm sure he does
Oh
that.
man, you know they have to pay him for those visits. There's
So did
no
you see
way
that Conor
he does that
McGregor went and talked to like the Boston Bruins like 2 weeks ago?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so like he went in there and he like gave this big motivational speech and he's like, "Who's the captain?" And like the captain for the Boston Bruins stands up and he's like, "You're the captain. You got to lead these guys. You got to get them pumped like I am right now." And then he's just like, "Who's the enforcer?" And he's like, "That's a trick question. You're all enforcers."
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, it was interesting. You know, he shows up like Conor McGregor always does. Like he's wearing jeans and like a polo, but he's got his polo tucked into his jeans, like something like a dad who refuses to wear slacks would do.
That's great.
And he goes in there, and I don't know if he knows anything about
hockey
at all, because yeah, otherwise he wouldn't have to ask who the captain of the Boston.
He's
Bruins
like, "Hey,
is.
which one of you hits the poke into the net?"
Yeah, who scores all the goals?
Which one of you skates around on the ice?
Yeah, I want to meet that guy.
I want to meet him. I want to know the one that skates around.
He literally gives like a minute and a half speech and then just literally leaves. Like turns around and gets out of there. Doesn't like stay for pictures or to talk to anybody. Just like walks in, does a speech, gets out. It makes you wonder, like, did he get paid for that? Did he choose to do that? If he got paid for that, that had to have been the best paycheck ever. Like a minute and a half of your life.
Man, that'd be great.
Someone's like, "Hey, will you come talk to my guys? I'll pay you like $100,000. Yeah, I'll come talk to your guys. I'm not going to do any research beforehand.
So can you? I know it's not sports related at all, but can you tell me what Treefort is exactly? You're in Boise right now. Treefort's going on. Is it a festival? Is it a?
It is a so Treefort is a festival. It is year 9 of this. Really, what it used to be, it was like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing.
Okay.
Or Built to Spill would play because they're from southern Idaho.
Okay.
And like they'd get a couple other bands, and it was really like a showcase for, I would say, local but also Northwest bands. Is kind of how it started. And then it partners with, they have like a main stage, but then they also partner with a lot of local venues. So there's shows going on everywhere. So if you buy a pass, there's like, at one given time of the day, there's anywhere between like 5 and 12 options and just places you could go, show your wristband, and go in and watch music.
Oh, that's cool.
So there's bands from back home playing. I know the Maple Bars are playing today.
Oh. Shout out to the Maple Bars.
Played last year, right?
He's playing this year too.
Oh, okay. So Tyler Rankin's band is playing.
Cool.
So yeah, I know you can roll your eyes all day.
Cool.
Yeah, but like
I thought I hit it better than that.
Yeah, but like Vince Staples played on Wednesday to kick it off.
That's
and
cool.
Like, so they get like a few big names now. They're at the point now where like there's like 5 or 6 like marquee names that play every year, and then obviously still Built to Spill.
Liz Fair or what?
Liz Fair's playing. Yeah, that was just
Liz
sweet.
Fair.
Tonight, oh, that's right. And then tonight we're going to Modern Baseball Me Without You, Tiger's Jaw, which is like basically like the ultimate emo show ever. American football. Yeah, sorry.
That's
Modern
awesome.
baseball. I say modern baseball.
Yeah.
American football. They're all sports teams' names.
Cool. I can't wait to go on to Reddit later and do a Today I Learned Liz Fair's alive.
Yeah, Liz Fair's alive.
That's
in
awesome.
She's in Boise.
That's exciting.
I don't know if she'll be alive come Monday, but because I'm gonna get her. No, I'm not gonna hurt her. It's a sexual thing.
I'm gonna get her. Man,
It's a sexual thing.
I like that you. I like that you
she lives
became.
through that.
I like that you became Michael Clark Duncan for a quick second too. You channeled your inner Michael Clark Duncan. I'm gonna get her.
I'm gonna get her. Yeah, I'm a
that's
big
good.
Michael Clark Duncan fan.
Yeah, of
Everyone
course.
knows that.
Who isn't? I've always said my friend Zach, the huge Mike Clark Dunk guy.
Yeah, you guys know Zach Swan. He's a huge Michael Clark Duncan guy.
So that sounds like it's a lot of fun though. That's pretty cool. And
Yeah,
of course
I mean,
they had,
it sucks it's the same weekend as the first weekend of the tournament, just because, like, I mean, yeah, you know how I have with college basketball. But today,
you
like,
have your phone.
yeah, I don't even give a whoop today because, I mean, Virginia Tech plays tomorrow, Oregon plays tomorrow, Duke
Yep.
plays tomorrow, North Carolina plays tomorrow. Basically, anyone that I really care about does not play today. You couldn't pay me to watch Minnesota Michigan. That is a Big Ten matchup. That is a Big Ten team versus a Big Ten team.
Yeah.
I would rather be in a cage fight with Ronda Rousey than
I don't know about that, man.
I'd rather do that. And you know how I feel about that.
I do know how you feel about that. I'm thinking about it. I'm balancing it in my head right now.
You know how much money that it took to negotiate me to do that in the first place.
The question is, would you rather be in a cage with Brock Lesnar?
Then watch the Minnesota Michigan game?
Yep.
I would rather be smothered to death by Brock Lesnar than watch the Minnesota Michigan game.
I imagine he would. That's how it would go too. His arms would just be like two anacondas, like in the hit movie
I'd
Anaconda.
rather be in a triple threat match with
Oh my god.
me, Brock, and Ronda.
Oh my gosh.
Than watch that Michigan State Minnesota game. That being said, it's probably going to be a very good game.
That's pretty good.
I'm gonna highlight some games though, real quick.
Okay.
I think Auburn is going to upset Kansas. Villanova, Purdue. That's a coin toss for me. Michigan State will beat Minnesota. Yeah. Gonzaga. They probably got Baylor, but man, that'd be fantastic if they didn't.
You know, it'd be really cool.
Yeah, it'd be a lot cooler if you didn't win that game.
All right.
Wofford's already up 5-0 on Kentucky. That is upset city right there. That's
Man.
just a bunch of white dudes. They're going to go out there and do their thing.
The coups out there.
And, you know, if they get really hot from three, they can beat Kentucky. But when you're the better team as far as athleticism,
right,
overall talent, Kentucky just needs to find a way to, you know, use that to their advantage. Don't even worry about who shoots better. Just go out there and, like, beat them up, and the rest what they're probably going to do. Florida, Michigan, I actually think Florida wins that game. That's not even like an upset to me. I think Florida wins over Michigan.
Nice.
Yeah, if I had to call two like bona fide upsets, it would probably be that one and then Murray State beating Florida State. But I'm less convinced on the Florida State just because Florida State has backups better than Murray State has starters. So I mean, that's end of the day. That's scary. It's just like how much can Jay Morant do?
Right.
For Murray State. We're about to find out.
All right. Well, I'm gonna. You know, we're running up like 45 minutes. You know, I want you to be able to go to your tree fort. I've been telling everyone that we started earlier today because you're building a tree fort with your new stepkids.
Yeah.
And everyone's been like, stepkids. I'm like, oh yeah, he's really changed his life since he's been down there.
Yeah, I got married to a lady with 6 kids.
6 kids, and now you're building tree forts with them.
She's LDS. Don't know why she married me. I think she just likes what Papa has to offer.
She wanted some more of that LDS.
I don't know. I don't even know what that means.
I can find a way to make all 3 of those letters work. I'm sure. I can find a way to make that work. You give me time, I will make something wrong out of those 3 letters.
I immediately thought long dick situation.
Oh, that's really good.
Trying to get yourself into that long dick situation.
She likes some of that long dick situation. Oh god, that's funny.
She's about to have 6 more kids. Well, speaking of kids, we're probably gonna have to edit off the last 5 minutes of this one. So
yeah, maybe, but it's still funny. Real quick on NBA, the Lakers are officially out. They are officially out. They are eliminated. So, first time in a few years, we're not going to see the playoffs go through LeBron James. Wowzer.
Not only are the playoffs not going through LeBron in the East this year, but now we don't know who they're going to go through. It's not like there's a bona fide team to like take their place. And
right.
It also makes you, it makes you wonder also if he was still there, like, would Cleveland have been the team to go through this year? That would have been hard to say.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Milwaukee and Toronto are both so good. Philadelphia looks amazing sometimes. They're talented. They're as talented as the other 2 teams. Boston's probably more talented than all three of those teams, but they underperform on a daily basis.
Yep.
So that's what's so hard about them. It's like they might just know they have the playoffs in the bag and really not care at this point. I don't think they're worried about home court. I think in their opinion, they know they're the most talented team in the East. So maybe they're just like, we win these regular season games, cool. If we don't, cool, whatever.
The last I was checking, it was looking like you and I might face off.
That's not the case anymore. So the Spurs were the hottest team in the West. They won 9, or in the league, they won 9 straight. They finished that 9-game winning streak by beating the Warriors, but then we just lost our last 2. The Rockets kind of took it to us last night, but it also seemed like in Houston, Greg Popovich has, because I think we'll end up playing the Rockets in the first round. Greg Popovich does this weird thing at the end of the regular season where he doesn't want to show the other team what he's going to throw at them in the playoffs. So then all of a sudden, like in clutch situations, you'll see DeMar DeRozan come out of the game and you're like, why? He's not tired. Why is he not in the game? And it's just something that Greg Popovich does. It's like he'd rather lose to you in the regular season than give away like how his team actually plays basketball.
Oh, that's interesting. That's a good strategy.
Yeah, but he did it last year too, and he did it last year to the point where we dropped all the way to the 8th seed because you could tell he was just like, we made the playoffs, good enough, and we dropped to the 8th seed within the final week of the season, and then we had to play the Warriors in the first round. It's like, I don't want him to do that again. I don't want to get in a situation where he's like, well, let's rest our stars so we're fresh come playoff time, and then we have to play a harder team. I'd rather us get up to like where we were at, either the 6 or the 5, and I would rather play the Rockets, I would definitely rather play the Blazers. No offense to the Blazers, but I mean, we've played them awesome this year.
Yeah,
so
they've had the 2 teams I really actually don't want in the first round are the ones that was yours. I did not want San Antonio in the first, which it looks like we won't have. You're right there. The other team was honestly OKC. I did not want to see them play OKC in the first round.
Yeah, I think you guys would beat up the Jazz if you got that in the first round. I love you guys against OKC. I mean, those have been close games all year. I mean,
they've been fun.
Insane. It's like both teams score 120 points against each other. It's nuts. But it's a nail biter because all those games are like less than 5-point differences that they've played against each other so far. But I think OKC and Portland would be I think that would be the best opening round matchup.
I think it'd tear down the building.
Golden State's going to dominate whoever they play. The Rockets hopefully don't dominate us, but I mean they look amazing right now. They're going to look they're going to look great. Nuggets are untested, so maybe they get themselves into. What if we have like a Nuggets Utah first round? I mean that could be an upset waiting to happen.
That'd be cool to see. I mean, I'm not rooting against the Nuggets, but that'd be pretty crazy to see it.
I think regionally that would be fun too, but that's the same thing that I think about Utah versus Portland is that the distance isn't incredibly far between the two. Yeah. So as far as like fan hype and being able to travel for games, it would be perfect.
That was my 2 final teams in our little choose a team for me game this summer. So I'd watch that.
Yeah, and then like I think I mentioned it last week's show, but Clippers versus Golden State in the first round I think would be regionally also really good. And it would just be fun to see like Clippers keep winning and it's like they're winning with no superstar. Their best player they traded away too. So they keep finding ways to win. I don't know if they can squeak out a couple games against Golden State. It'd be cool if they won like a game or 2. They probably get swept though. I don't think there's any other first round sweeps in the West. I think in the East we're looking at potentially like all sweeps. Because like bottom of the West is or East is Miami, Detroit.
Whatever team gets in the 8th spot is going to be under 500 going into the playoffs.
Right, a losing record team will get in the East, which always happens. But
it's just crazy to me still. I mean, it's like,
I'm assuming Milwaukee will just like run train and rest Giannis and move on. Whoever Toronto plays, they probably sweep as well. But people got to watch out for Detroit because Detroit's got Toronto's coach from last year, who is a better coach than what Toronto has now, in my opinion. Completely turned him around, and also playoff Blake Griffin is a real thing because I mean, people want to act like Blake Griffin's like done because like he went to Detroit, which is basically like Alcatraz for for NBA players. But him and then Andre Drummond's been breaking records. Like the dude's like a 20-20 guy. Like the dude's getting 15 to 20 rebounds every game and like setting like things that we haven't seen in modern basketball being done. And then Reggie Jackson. So it's like the team can surprise somebody. They're gonna get a couple wins, but
that's awesome.
I don't know.
Don't sleep on them.
Don't sleep on Detroit.
Don't sleep on them, baby.
You gotta look at depth though. That's what really is weird about the East is like you see these teams in the West where you see like Lou Williams or Eric Gordon coming off the bench and you're like, wow, that guy's a starter on most teams. And then you see teams in the East and their bench players, you're like, who the hell is this guy?
We need to have Jeff on the show as a hype man more often. I like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep Jeff here.
I want,
forever.
you got to keep him down there, and then from now on, every show we do, just have him in the background, just like hyping what you say, and that'll be the new show.
Well, now I feel more confident about what I'm saying because I got the hype now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, and then we can do segments where he takes you off into the corner, and squirts the water in your mouth, and you spit it into a bucket.
Yeah,
he's like,
I want like the boxing robe, and then he like takes it off me.
Oh man!
Slash me across the face a couple times, gets me going.
There's so many good ideas we could do with that. So good. Well, hey,
then he'll be gone.
Oh, it's like the Charlie Brown song just played. Well, I'm gonna let you guys go to your tree fort.
Yeah, we're gonna go build a fort.
Everybody enjoy the games today. Enjoy music down if you're in southern Idaho. I'm kind of jealous. I think now that I know of these things that happen, maybe next year I will make a trip to Boise for Tree Fort. Maybe I'll go check it out too.
I think next year is the 10th anniversary, so you should.
Oh, that'd be a good one. And then and the world can use a 35-year-old Derek down there at the time, hanging out with the kids. I'm gonna wear khaki pants and put my phone on my belt buckle.
Yeah, and you should get a white T-shirt that says in lettering, "Who's ready to get pregnant?"
Yep.
I've always wanted one of those as a dad, like that. Wear that shirt tucked into khakis.
Oh,
with a fanny pack.
Tucked into or
ready to get pregnant because I'm here to party.
and if not jeans, or if not khakis, then Costco Kirkland jeans.
I own a pair of Costco Kirkland jeans.
That's awesome.
Because you got to feel like a boss, though.
Is the zipper 19 inches long on them?
No, they're just a regular pair of jeans. Everyone wants to diss Costco jeans, but they fit excellent.
Okay, well I'll have to go check them out. I'll have to go check those out. I just know I had a pair of Costco Kirkland jeans from a long time ago that my grandpa gave me, and the zipper on them was like 25 inches long. I was like, holy fuck!
Well, that's because old people buy their jeans from there because it covers their fupa.
Oh, that's right. I did look like a.
It's extra zipper for your fupa.
I did look like Michael Moore when I wore them.
Weren't you Michael Moore for Halloween once?
I was.
Do you remember when Kevin was Michael Moore?
Well, yeah.
On The Office?
So.
That's why he did it. Huh?
Yeah. That's literally why I did it. I went as Kevin as Michael Moore.
You were Kevin as Michael Moore. Hey, what's your opinion on bald people? Because I hate them.
Well, what's kind of funny is I went as Kevin as Michael Moore, and I kind of looked like my cousin.
And your cousin was like, "You're not Kevin or Michael Moore. You're making fun of me."
Yeah, no, I'm not kidding. He was like, "Are you dressed as me for Halloween?" And I was like, "No, I'm Michael Moore. Haven't you ever seen him before?" And my cousin's like, "Oh my God, I kind of look like Michael Moore. That sucks." And I was like, "Yeah, that does. You should change. You should change your life."
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys. Have fun down there. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the show. I'll have this episode posted real quick today.
Yeah, and I'll get it on YouTube. That was my bad.
All right, everybody. Have a good day. Go Warriors.